Good morning everyone, it's Rachel here. I hope you're all well, and we are going to work on these journals. I didn't get a video done last weekend, so so I'm doing it today, and I'll try and do one for this weekend. We've got our friends coming to stay, the ones that we go and visit in Florence, so I'll have to try and pre-record. So unless they leave on Sunday, and then I might be able to get one done. Two I've stitched the signatures in, and two I have not, because I was going to do that with you guys. So I'll put those over there. I'll just show you what they have a hidden spine. So it's glued, and they're a little bit stiff because I haven't waggled them around a little bit, but this is what they're looking like. Absolutely love them. So quite a lot of work to do in them and everything, but they are stitched in the signatures. These ones have 5 signatures, which I don't normally do, but these particular books had very deep spines, and I didn't want to cut them off because they were lovely. So just do a quick flip. Yeah, so I've put 5 signatures in, so that's that one, and that will be put aside because we're not working on that today. And then this is the other one, also 5 signatures. And that's the original page from the book. And then, yeah, all kinds of lovely botanical or nature sort of pages. So that's that one there. And so now we're going to work on these ones. Now this one is they're going to be stitched into the spine. So, well, no, let's do this one first, actually, because then I can put it on the floor to dry, because this is going to be done the same way as the ones I just showed you. Yep, that's going to glue in there. Oh, I love the colours. Okay, so first job, and you've seen me do this millions of times. First job is just to give this a little measure. I'll probably forget, but anyway, I think it's 4. Yep, about 4 centimetres. So I'll put that over there. I'm going to find the middle here. So I'll just grab my pen. 5 centimetres is the middle. And then the width of my spine is 4 centimetres, so I can mark that off as well. And I might use this ruler. This is like a quilting sort of ruler. And you can line it up on things and go straight. So I like to do my signatures about, I think I'll do them about 1 centimetre or half a centimetre actually apart. So I can't see that. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? I'll have to measure it here just a minute. I'll do 1 centimetre. Or whatever that is. I don't think it is quite 1 centimetre, but anyway. So I'm lining it up on my line that I drew, and I can just draw that down there like that. And then I can do the other one, and those are the lines on which my signatures will be stitched. Okay. I wonder if this, no, I don't want, I'll just measure it the regular way. So then I've got to find the middle, top and bottom. Oh, lucky 25. So 12.5. And then I like to do about, in this sort of size book, I do about 2.5 inches. And what I can do here is line up the ruler on the line. It's there, so it's straight. And that way I get my dots straight. There we go. So I've got my dots, and I can punch those. Let's do that. So this is a Japanese screw punch. It's just made a mess. It's just pooped everywhere. There we go. And with this, it's pretty easy to use because it just does a nice neat hole. It's not very thick. Now you could do this just with the fabric, but I like to put the straw paper on there because it's just a little bit stronger. And I know that I'm pretty sure that professional bookmakers use what they call like a fabric paper. So I'm assuming it's some sort of paper with fabric on it. So that's why I started doing that, because I'm not going to go out and buy all the things. Now I do have my clips here. And those journals that I showed you before that are already glued in, stitched in, they and glued, I left them overnight to dry. Actually, I left them longer than that because I forgot about them. That was quite a few days. But anyway, you at least leave them overnight, 24 hours. Okay, so let's just see what this height is. Oh, perfect, 10 inches, so I can do 5. So I'm just finding the center. You can do it in centimeters or inches, it doesn't matter. I like the inches when I do my distance from the center, simply because it's just a nice, easy, neat number. I'm just going to punch them. Normally I would do all my measuring and do all my punching, but I'm going to do it as I go. So that's my bottom signature. So put that there. This is my middle signature. Now in theory they would be all the same height, but no, not in my case, because I mix all my papers up and don't necessarily make everything the same. So just important to find the center. So how is everyone today? I hope you're well. We are very cold. It's been very cold, low 10s, and so we turned off our heating a few weeks ago because it was hot, and now these last couple of weeks have been cold, and so now we've got 19 degrees in the house and my hands are cold. But you know what? I'm going to enjoy it, because before I know it, it'll be stinking hot. It'll be a stinker. Not in the smelly sense of the word, in the hot sense of the word. The Aussie hot sense of the word. We say, oh, it was stinking hot today. I don't know where it comes from. Any Aussies? Where does that come from? Why would we say it's stinking hot? Like, I could understand it in Italy, because when I lived in Florence, my cousin George and I would say, here are the summertime smells, because their drains are very old. All these, and anyone who's been to Florence in the summertime especially will be smelling the pongs that come up from the gutters or whatever, the drains. So yes, I guess that we could call it a stinker in that sense. But yeah, in Australia we say, oh, it's stinking hot. And I don't know where the stinking comes from. So that's what that means. It just means it's super hot. And you know, I haven't lived in Australia for a really long time, and so things just sort of slip out of my mind, because also when you speak English to, well, I don't speak English to a lot of Italians here. I usually speak Italian to them. Now, I think this was going to be my up, or was that going to be my up? That. I start with my bottom signature. But when you do speak to, if you come and visit and you find a English-speaking foreigner, like an Italian or whatever, it is advisable to remove the slang from your vocab, which is what I did when I first met Stefano. He didn't speak English very well, and I didn't speak Italian very well. And I was living with my cousin here. And we did remove a lot of the slang out of our lingo, because the Aussie slang, because otherwise they're not going to understand you. They don't, when they learn English at school, they don't learn this, necessarily the slang all around the world. We all have our own words wherever we are. And so then living here and not using them, I forget. I do forget. There we go. So, sorry, I didn't tell you what I was doing. I was too busy chatting. I will do it, and then I'll tell you in the next one. I'll go through. I need that to be on either side of that. And then pull it tight. Oh, I need to cut it first. I just minimize my wastage by not cutting it straight away. Using wax thread, as most of you would know. When you tie your knots, it holds. It's very strong. Oh, and without even thinking, I did my tails on that side. Because I tend to prefer that if I'm doing this type of thing. So we'll do it again. So if you want your tails on the inside, you start from the inside. If you want your tails on the outside, you start from the outside. Is that correct? Let's see. So we go in the center. Yep. And then down top or bottom, it doesn't matter. It's the same. Then jump right down to the other hole, the furthest away hole. Try to find it. I'll just come through and try to find it. Where is it there? Now you have seen this a million times, but there are new people. Well, there can be new people who are new to the making journals. Okay, so have your string on either side. I probably left that a bit long. It's a bit of a waste, but anyway, pull it tight and tie your knots. So obviously this is the more fiddly version of putting the pages in. It's easier to stitch it straight into your cover. I'm going to have a sip of coffee. Hoping that would warm me up. And then I've got my front signature, which is this one. So if I wanted to have my ties inside, I go in that way, but I'm having my ties on the outside, so I'm going to go in this way. If you make a boo-boo punching your holes, which I did in a recent video, I think I did when I was putting the medieval Mirage ones together, you can just add another page in the center of your signature to cover that where the holes are, and then just repunch them. It's not a big deal. I used to get devastated by things like that when I first started, thinking, oh my goodness, it's ruined. I can't, all that work of choosing my pages and whatever. Some people like to work on their pages before they stitch them in. I like to see my my things as a whole and then work on them. Even my stitching, it's much easier not to stitch the fabric pages into the hardcover book and work on them first and then put them in. But no, I like to do it, put them in and struggle with it, because I like to see the whole, the whole piece, and not be wiggling around pages and shuffling and that sort of thing. So there we go. We've got, just double check before I do any gluing, everything is up the right way. Yep. And now this is going to glue into this. This is the not so fun bit, but it is perfectly doable. Let me grab, I'm going to get out these very ruined paper clips. These are a good thing to have to help it stick down here. Got my glue. I need to tip my glue. My glue is probably cold, and so probably slow moving. I think after I've done this, if I don't feel exhausted, I might start looking at because my next step, I probably start gluing down and extending any pages that are short, that sort of thing. I will start doing that first. Now I'm going to get very sticky doing this business, but it is what it is. I'll have to grab and then you need a lot of glue because you want this to stay. You don't want it to come off. So then I'm going to put glue here. This glue I won't necessarily smush around. I don't really need to. Now make sure you've got your book up the right way. I hope I do. I think I do. You definitely want to get glue down here because I didn't extend out there. That glue I may smush because this I feel like, you know, yes, the spine needs to stick, but one of the really important bits are these flaps that they really do need to stick. So we'll just smush that. We don't want too many air pockets or anything like that. So it's public holiday here today. I was talking to Sarah yesterday. It's a public holiday, and I smushed that one as well. It's just because I like doing that with the glue. I really like the feeling of it because it's soft. So it's a public holiday in Australia for the Australian New Zealand Armed Forces, Armed Cavalry they were. So the Anzacs and remembering Gallipoli, where the Australian and New Zealand forces were sent into an ambush and slaughtered, and a lot of them were you know, teenagers, really young. Very sad. You know, we know what war is. Shocker. We don't normally talk about it on this channel, but today is a public holiday, and my sister was wondering why is it a public holiday in Italy, and I said to her, I'm not sure about the rest of Europe, but in Italy it's Liberation Day. I think it's the day that they recognise as themselves being liberated from the Nazis. So, yes, I know the Italians, Mussolini was with them to start off with, but that he did not reflect the majority of what people wanted. I know that Stefano's family were anti, and yes, Steph's grandfather had to jump out the window and escape from the soldiers. So, and I know all of our friends, a lot of our friends that have old farmhouses up in, like in Emilia as well, their old farmhouses have the little cubby holes where they would hide the people that had deserted or that didn't want to, they didn't agree with it and they didn't want to participate, and they'd hide them. They'd hide the people up in the cubby holes, as they did in many places in Europe. So anyway, it's Liberation Day here, so it's it's important to the Italians as well, not just the Aussies and the New Zealanders. And I don't know which other countries are having it's a public holiday today. Probably other European countries, I would imagine. I don't know. Okay, so I've glued in. I'm just going to plonk this over here out of my way. I don't want the pages to, oh, well, there you go. I was about to say, I don't want the pages to completely fall down. Well, they have. Now, I'm going to go in between my signatures and just run my finger in there and make sure it's all sticking down, because this, I put a lot of glue and it's going to take some time for it to hold and stick. But there's a lot of glue in there, so we'll just do that. And some of it's oozing through the holes. That's okay. It means we've got nice amount of glue. And then I just, in a very awkward manner, probably don't need the glue for the moment. I'll just lie it down over there. Put this paper clip back on here because this holds these pages up, and that's what we want them to hold up. And you won't be able to see, but what I'm going to do, because I need to pull it towards me, I don't want it lifting, but I'm going to slide in paper clips. Now they're a little bit fiddly to get off, but you just carefully slide them off afterwards when it's dry. What have I done here? Trying to get this out. Okay. And it's just going to put some pressure on and hold it in theory. Put 3 or 4, whatever you can fit. Okay. And then here, do it at the other end. It's really not as hard as it looks. I just sort of run I don't necessarily even put them in as straight as they could be, but I sort of run my finger along and sort of gauge, is it kind of equidistance on either side, and it looks straight to me, so I'm just going to go with it. I think if you worry too much about perfection, you're going to take the pleasure. I mean, there are some people that are very naturally perfect, let's say that, and they are lucky people that they just have that eye for being perfect. I'm not. I'm actually a very wonky person, and it did cause me a lot of stress doing these things, trying to be perfect, and I just have given up. I just know that I'm not, and I just embrace my wonkiness. But I think that's looking okay to me. So I'm going to put that flat on the floor like this, and I won't touch it until tomorrow or the next day. I might forget. And it will just sit there like that and dry. Now this one is much easier in the sense that I'm a good girl. I put my mat away. Or did I not pull out my mat? No, I must have. Those go with that other book. Well, I probably won't use anymore. I did put lots of those in there. So here I need to measure here, and sorry. Oh, I heard something slipping. I thought it was my book. So it's not quite 4, so I kind of eyeball where I'm putting it. It's just resting on the edges there, and that's going to be the center, in my opinion. But I'm not going to draw any lines this time. I'm going to just put my dots on. So let's say it's 21. So I need 11.5. No, 10.5. Oh, that would have been wonky. And I'm just going to eyeball where to put the dots next to it. And then I'm going to do 2.5 because I like that distance. 2.5 on either side from there, and 2.5 from there. And then I might just put my ruler there just to hopefully get it fairly straight. There and there. Yep, that's good. And then put my ruler on here. 2.5 and 2.5. So let's punch those because I've got a few dots there that I don't want to make a boo-boo. It wouldn't be a big deal because we're going to be covering the spine anyway, so it wouldn't be any drama because the extra hole would be covered up. This is a little thicker because I've got a few layers of the tape and everything. Now I may need to go and fish some things out. We might as well finish it off and decorate it once I've put everything in. So let's see, I went through, just hold it up to the light and you can see that. Now we've got our signatures here. And I've got to find the center. Two and a half and 2.5. Now I'm just going to squish them in. You can use your book awl if you don't have one of these. I have sometimes, if I put more pages in, too many pages, not too many, but I might have decided I'm going to put lots of pages in, then I will do a bit of this and then I'll use my book awl because this will struggle to go through it. Okay, so another If you can find longer paper clips, they're very handy because they catch, not so much in the case of these signatures, but they do catch, in taller books, they catch the shorter pages. Just want to see. Oh, yeah, 8.4, so I can do 4.2. If you're not confident, don't use a pen, use a pencil so you can rub out ink that you did as a boo-boo. I definitely want that to go in because that's the title page, I think, of that book. Come on. Where is the center? Here we go. We've got something shorter here, so we'll catch that with the paper clips. There we go. Found it. So these signatures, obviously, because there's only 3 signatures, they have more pages in them than the 5 signature journals. Okay, so there's my signatures, got my book, and I'm going to stitch in. I always start at the bottom because otherwise if you start on the front, you have to flip it all upside down, you have to make sure your signatures are upside down, whereas this way everything just has to be upright that way, you know, to the right. I feel like it, just in my brain, it makes it easier. And again, I think I'm going to have the hidden cords. I mean, that you might like to dingle dangle things off your cords, so you might want them in the center. So you just, instead of coming up this way, you go down through the signature first. There, and then back down through the center. There we go. And we want to be on either side of that. Okay. Trim. It's a lovely book cover, this one. See how that one's going. Yep, not wiggly. And the next. So this really is one of the most satisfying things, because you start to get, you know, you feel like it's starting to come together. It's fiddly, but oh, come on. I'm dancing around the hole. It's like a golf ball. Not that I ever played golf, but I've seen that in movies, the ball swinging around the hole. Okay. Oh, I unthreaded. Okay, so trim here. So I'll work on one on camera, but I will show you the other ones as they progress off camera, the ones that I'm working on off camera. Now, I've got a lot of pages in this one, so I think I'll have to be a little bit careful about how much I bulk it up, because then once you start filling your pockets, it's going to become a gator mouth. Mind you, I always recommend I would take everything out and then put it back in as I need to if I were writing in the journal. Okay, so that is done. I'm going to put all of this stuff away. Wrong drawer. I always make sure I put it all away when I'm done, because that way I don't lose all my bits, and I just have a tin in my drawer where all my bookmaking stuff is put. Don't need that ruler anymore. Probably don't need that one right now. And I wanted to think about this exterior. Oh, I left those. Any others? Oh, it's lovely. It's going to be lovely too. Oh, I was thinking, where's the other one? We did that one already, didn't we? Oh, gosh, we're fast. Down there. Okay, so I want to think about this cover. And, actually, I have this lovely piece here. Let's just see. What do I have up here? I've got all kinds of fabrics and things up here. So let's just see. I don't think I chose anything for this one, did I? Oh, I had this, but this is not going. Isn't this gorgeous? I don't know where that came from. I think that is so pretty, but it's only just going to make it. Oh, it would just make it. It's so pretty. Maybe have that underneath it or on top of it. I do think it's really pretty. Yeah, I think I might put that one on. And then I don't know if I'll have a flower. I can cut that out afterwards. So let's grab these scissors and put a snip there. Maybe someone gave it to me. I don't know. And what I need to do now is just... This has a lovely soft spine too. Oh, first I wanted to glue on actually that. I forgot about that. So it needs to come down to here. Down there. I've decided to put it underneath. So let me just, especially with laces, even with fabrics, I like to smush it around because it's going to be too much glue and then it won't stick in bits because you didn't spread it out. Okay. Now, just one thing with these types of covers, when they've got a bit of kind of marbling sort of effect on them, don't rub them too much with your wipe or whatever you're using to wipe away the glue, because the colour will come off. And same with, you know, putting too much glue, you could get bleeding going on. Colour bleeding, not people bleeding. Okay, then I need to put lots of glue there, because now I'm going to glue on my fabric. I know I need to stay on the tape. What I might do first is just simply put, so I'll just use the dry one just to get the extra glue off, and then I'm going to put the fabric on first. Normally I'd put it on the spine a bit more as well, but I think I want to that way. I just want to make sure I don't go too far over, if that makes sense. Just do a gentle, no, I need to slide it over a bit more. There we go. Okay, and now pick it up. And get the glue on here without it flopping off. I don't want it to flop off. Just stick those down. Stretch it over. Now you can, I don't often do it, but you can, sometimes I have in the past put, you know, put a lovely piece of ripped paper on the back here as well. You can put stuff on the back too. I just don't always do that. Maybe just simply because I forget. I just want to make sure I'm covering the tape. And then just run that along there. That's great. So pretty. Such a pretty fabric. As I said, don't remember where it came from. Now I wanted to see a bit of ticking, and you know I love these little applique flowers. Just see what one of these might look like. It might be too much. Might not need it. We might just need a little bit of ticking, but we will see. So I don't think we'll be looking at the pockets today, because we've now decorated a cover. And I'm glad I've gotten that done, because otherwise I'd probably sit and look at it for quite a while, or quite like that. But I would like this, I think. Might put that there, or what about there and that up a bit? I think that way. No, I don't like that. What about like that? Coming down out the bottom and top there, that's it. Okay, so going to put glue on here, just dot it around. It will ooze through a little bit. Like that. Didn't ooze, that's good. And then we'll do dotting on here. This is fine because it's appliqued, there's quite a few layers there. anybody who's new, I'm just using a Vinaville PVA glue. Just a school grade glue that is great for fabric, wood, paper, whatever. I find it's the best for me. There we go. I love that. Oh, super pretty. Okay, so I'm going to grab my little bone folder thing. Did I put it away? I did, good girl. I'm always pleased with myself when I put things back in their spot. Now we'll do a bit of dabbing here. I'm dabbing, I'm not wiping. Now that I've sort of done that, I can do a little bit with my hand as well. So I kind of don't want to mess with this one either until it dries, because otherwise I'm going to get ridges in it. Just going to dab that off a little bit. Okay, well that is that cover. I really like that. Very happy with that. Excuse me sticking to things. Oh, this is typical. I just have random stitch bits flying around. Lots of incomplete projects, which is why I couldn't find any pins anywhere. And so I have bought that many pins that I can have all kinds of incomplete projects flying around with pins in it, because I'm going to have enough pins. Okay, so that is that book prepared, and I'm very pleased with that. Can't see the tape, which is good, and we've got lots of texture there, and then the lovely signatures as well. So next time we will start gluing down any tucks that I created and extending any pages that need extending, and then after that we do pockets. And then we have the fun of filling them. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you again soon. Bye.